Good evening. It's 7 o'clock here in New York City, and this is the Tibet Center, Kunchab Tarduling, Buddhist Meditation and Study Center located in New York City in northern New Jersey. And this is one of our twice-weekly presentations of the Buddha Dharma. So before we start, let me give you some housekeeping announcements. We're now on, the Tibet Center is now on Substack. Substack? It's new to me too. I'm of the old generation. I don't know anything. Look for us, and the address is the Tibet Center, straight through, .substack.com. So it's a new place to find out everything about the Tibet Center. And we're also on Blue Sky, not in Blue Sky, but on Blue Sky. Again, the address, the Tibet Center, .bsky.social, S-O-C-I-A-L. So Blue Sky, the Tibet Center, .bsky.social. So two places where you could access all the information you need about the Tibet Center. And also, every time we go on, we say all the prayers we say are on the website in the FAQ section. No, it's right on the front now of the website. You don't have to go digging through to find the prayers. Right on the lead page, right? Click on prayers, and then everything we say is there. If there's anyone who has passed away recently you wish us to pray for, when we do the Sutra of the Three Jewels recollection, put their names now as soon as possible, so everyone will see their name, and when it's time to say the prayers, they'll think of them. And it helps, it really actually helps. And everything is concrete. So, we have a lot to do, most of it advice from His Holiness tonight, but also some advice from the old Kadampas. They're not old, they're not here anymore, but this is from the 1100s. Especially a little advice from the one who wrote the 8 verses for training the mind that we say all the time. He has another little thing to say. So we'll start. First prayer is prayer for the spreading of the teachings throughout the length and breadth of the West by the former Ling Rinpoche. By the force of the blessings of the non-fallacious 3 precious gems and of the truth of our pure selfless wishes, may the precious Buddhist teachings flourish and spread to the expanse of all areas throughout the length and breadth of the West, for all the people living there together with their near ones, who have engaged in the teachings and have faith and respect for them, may all conditions adverse to their practice of the pure Dharma be dispelled, and an excellent collection of favorable conditions increase like the waxing moon, and especially for those who work on methods to accomplish the flourishing and spreading of the victorious one's teachings, which are the source of benefit and happiness. May they never be oppressed by masses of interference and adverse conditions, and may this spontaneously happen just as we hoped and wished. The Heart Sutra, and we'll have a lot to say about the Heart Sutra. His Holiness is going to weigh in 2 different books on techniques for understanding emptiness, real world meditations you can do. Thus have I heard once, the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a big gathering of great monks and great bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the samadhi which examines the dharmas called profound illumination, and at the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, Mahasattva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the 5 skandhas and their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Avalokiteshvara, how should those noble ones learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge? And Avalokiteshvara answered, Venerable Shariputra, whoever wishes to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge should look at it like this, seeing the 5 skandhas and their natural emptiness. Form is empty. Emptiness itself is form. Emptiness is not separate from form. Form is not separate from emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discriminating awareness, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Thus, all the dharmas are empty and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discriminating awareness, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no objects of mind, no quality of sight, no quality of hearing, no quality of smelling, no quality of tasting, no quality of sensing, no quality of thought, no quality of mind consciousness. There are no nidanas from ignorance to old age and death, nor their wearing out. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, since there is no attainment, the bodhisattvas abide by means of transcendent knowledge. And since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear. They transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the past, present, and future, by means of transcendent knowledge, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering, should be known as truth, for there is no deception. In transcendent knowledge, the mantra is proclaimed, Tayat Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhisoha. O Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva mahasattva should learn profound transcendent knowledge. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and praised the bodhisattva mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, Good, good, O son of noble family. Profound, transcendent knowledge should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Shariputra and the Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering in the world with its gods, humans, Asuras, and Gandharvas, their hearts full of joy, praised the words of the Blessed One. Refuge in Bodhisattva vows, called Generating Bodhicitta. We say these verses 3 times. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. So, as is our custom, initiated by our teacher, Nikki Breland, we'll say one round of Om Mani Padme Hum, the mantra of Avalokiteshvara, the personification of great compassion. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So we have a lot of little things to cover today. It's like a little buffet of different foods, the different pieces of the Dharma. Quickly, someone had asked a long time ago, not that far, because I'm not that old. Where is it marked? Here it is. We're talking about how the most subtle level of mind is the clear light mind, and how everything comes from that base out, to the grosser stages of mind or appearances of mind. So someone said, is there a difference between the clear light mind and the Buddha nature? And this is His Holiness in this book, Many Ways to Nirvana, on page 141. And what do you think he says? Same or different? We'll make a question. Are they the same, the clear light mind that we all carry with us that's suppressed all the time, but it's there, and Buddha nature? Same or difference? They are the same. His Holiness says they are the same. The Buddha nature can be the empty nature of the mind, in which case it is not a consciousness. It can also refer to the primordial clear light mind, which is more related to the tantric teaching. So when they start talking clear light, etc., they're in the mode of the tantric teachings. And the sutra doesn't mention that too much. Here and there, I think it does. But anyway, so that's it, in case someone is wondering. I think Raka or somebody asked, it's the same. I forgot. My brain left home a long time ago.
My friend had a question too, one about a death. Let me find this question.
Everybody hurry up, because I'm old. Am I? Take your time. This is the living room. Relax. Kitchen table, even better.
Something about like when that person when the conscious leave the physical body.
Right.
So when they see like apparitions, they can see like the dead people, the dead relatives.
They go into the bardo, they have clairvoyance. So it leaves and becomes a bardo being. Bardo means between two. Between this life, which you're leaving, and the next life, which you didn't get to yet. You're in that state. You wander around doing what? Reading books? No. Looking for your next rebirth. In that state, you have clairvoyance. You want to go somewhere, see you're there. You can go through walls. It's like you have some sort of miraculous power. What propels you here and there is your karma, pushing you towards this or that, what you see. For instance, someone who has made his or her living killing animals, butchers, they'll see, a bunch of sheep, and I have to run over there and get them and kill them. Then they're born animal realm or something, or hell, whatever. Someone who practiced Dharma, and they'll see visions of the Buddha, the Pure Land, maybe, Tofo's corporation, or whatever, they go there. So you don't have power at that time much, unless you're a yogi. They direct they know what they're doing. But you don't, you're past karma, so it's especially your wishing prayers. I would like to be useful to all sentient beings. Very simple. You'll go to a place where you can get the Dharma and be very useful. So that's all. But in that state, yeah, you could visit places. No one can see you. You think they can, but no one can see you or hear you. You can complain and yell, scream, and do whatever you want. I want a sandwich. No, they don't. Anybody listening? No, they're not, because they can't hear. That's one thing. It's very strange. The books on the bardo, this one, Journey of the Mind, which we have, Drango Rinpoche's book, was also, people say he's a Kagyu Lama, he's also a Geshe. He did both. And His Holiness Dalai Lama made him the teacher of the new Karmapa. So this guy is very good. Anyway, that's the story. So we all have that. Some of these lamas say, we have this clairvoyance, we just have to settle the mind, settle the mind, settle the mind. And then, depending on your spiritual background, you can see far away, you can hear, you could be prescient about the future, what's going to happen. You could see past lives, things like that. Nothing special. You're not out of samsara, but your mind is calmer, and it starts to expand. Something like that. I don't have these abilities. That's what the books say. So we're going to talk a little about, these are nice pieces of advice from the Kadampas, these people around the time of Atisha. Atisha was the first one. Simple statements, very practical, mind training. The prayer we see at the end of class, 8 verses for training the mind. Very simple, Langtri Tangpa. He wrote a few other words of advice, which we have right here. He wrote 8 verses for training the mind. And we say it all the time. I should have brought my glasses, but it's going to be rough. Yeah. I thought I meant, here it is. So, senior spiritual mentor Langtri Tangpa said, this is on page 84, this wonderful book, Wisdom of the Kadampa Masters. Don't worry about it. We'll put up a copy in the Tibet. Since one person cannot fathom or measure the measure of another, in other words, you don't know what's really in another person's mind. You can't. Do not belittle anyone. You don't know who's who. You see the surface. You don't know who's maybe a high being acting as somebody simple. So don't belittle them. Be on the safe side. And also, belittling them doesn't help you anyway. So who are you? Since all teachings of the Buddha bring results, do not engage in them with discrimination of these are the good ones, these are the bad ones. No. You don't do that. All the Buddha's teachings were done specifically for people at different levels. No good. Who's that guy? Get rid of him. It's coming through all right? Okay. He also said, since the welfare of sentient beings is a Mahayana practitioner's only task, the welfare of others, that's your only job if you practice Mahayana, ensure that your armor of working for the welfare of others is not weak. You're going to need strength. You want to work for others? It's not easy. So you have to take care of yourself and have the tools, the mindset that can handle it. It's like teaching school, right? The kids are screaming, you better be patient, otherwise you'll be screaming mommy yourself. And finally he said, since you can't lead others without attaining a secure ground for yourself, strive hard in your meditation practice in solitude. So you should be helping others. What are you sitting alone? No. You have to build yourself up first. Nobody criticizes medical students. People are all sick out there. Why don't you go out and help them? We can't yet. We have to become doctors. Then we can help them. Same here. So that's it. Then there's another guy from this book. This guy makes lists of things. The numerical saying of Karak Gam Chung. Sounds Chinese. Gam Chung? Not really. No, Chung isn't. Anyway, he's from a while ago. What? Karak, Khara, Gam, Gomchung, Gam Chung. Gom is meditation.
Sounds like Vietnamese.
Sounds Vietnamese? This is Geshe, briefly. He had a vision of Avalokiteshvara, this guy. So he says, how much the flight? 6 of 3. He names all these things, 3 things for the first set of 3. The 3 necessities is, 1, initially, it's necessary to fear death. 2, in the middle, it's necessary to have no remorse if death were to come. Okay, it came. You're getting to be more spiritual, more accomplished. First of all, it's good to fear death because then you realize this isn't the whole thing. Let me do something to do without going crazy, Secondly, in the middle, it's necessary to have no remorse if death were to come. Yes, it's coming. It's part of life. And third, finally, it is necessary to face death without fear. And Chungla used to say that when they say, what about a practitioner? They think that they're going home on vacation. A good practitioner looks forward to death because they know how to handle it and they're going to go to a better place. So it's like, another Lama said it's like Nawang Dage. It's like children skipping home on the last day of school. They're so happy. That's their mindset. They're going to die there. That's how hearted they feel, depending on their level of practice. So the more you practice, the less you'll fear death. 3 things to be embraced. If you embrace a teacher, essential instructions will flow. Got it? That's a simple. If you embrace meditation, experience will grow. If you embrace meditative absorptions, realizations will increase. You know, an absorption is your more or less a one-pointed level on something. And instead, that builds realization.
So you say when you embrace your teacher, that first one?
You embrace a teacher, essential instructions will flow. In other words, you're open, you're getting not just instruction, it's essential, right to you. Do this, do that. Let me know what happens. They don't tell you do this, do that. Try this and tell me what's happening. That's the Buddhist approach. Because then the mind is relaxed. No, I have to do this. No. Secondly, if you embrace meditation, you meditate according to the instructions, experience will grow. You'll get more experience. And finally, the meditation sets. And if you embrace meditative absorption, you're so absorbed, like the paper towel absorbs water and everything, the sponge will do it, realizations will increase. You'll get these powers and understandings. So that's it. Don't confuse these 3 things. Abandon 3 common confusions, and this has a lot to do with the teachers today in our situation. A Dharma practitioner and pretenders are liable to be confused. You have to be careful. Those who are a sincere Dharma practitioner and those who pretend. The rose around the neck, or this and that, I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. But what's inside? Hi, good evening. Konbanwa. The view and words are liable to be confused. This is difficult. The view means view of emptiness. The words about it are liable to be confused, yes, for even seasoned practitioners. You have to be careful. And of course, we're working with newly translated material. Probably you can go to the Chinese text, been around for years, to get a better, more precise meaning. I know Nagarjuna's translated into Chinese. So it's a good place. Meditation and intention are liable to be confused. What are you meditating for? You have to be sincere to yourself. You say, I'm meditating, that's good. What for? What's your sincere thing? Meditating to be a big star and tell everybody how important you are? Or meditating to strengthen yourself to be able to remove suffering? Everyone knows that here, so don't confuse Trader Joe's with the other. There are 3 things you must not be apprehensive about. 3 things you mustn't be worried about, in other words. Don't be apprehensive about being hungry when you're old. Don't worry about it. Buddha will take care of you. He said, my practitioners will never starve. My followers will never starve. He devoted a whole bunch of merit to that purpose. Especially his nuns and monks will not starve. Secondly, don't be apprehensive about losing support. What do you care? You strength to yourself. And third, don't be apprehensive about being despised by the world. Yeah, suppose Trump despises you. Actually, that's good, because you're living, no, really, something, the world is one thing. The world has motivation of selfishness. Make this, or look at that, but he doesn't make much money. How much do you make? Bah! Yeah. I mean, really, what are we here for? To make a lot of money that goes when we're dead? That's it. You're going to bring it with you? No. Only the mind goes, and it can't carry anything. So what else? Of the 6 sets of 4, there are 4 best facts. Best, F-A-C-T-S, facts. When the rope of mindfulness is uncut, it is the best meditation. The rope of mindfulness, in other words, you're not drifting away. Oh no, I'm supposed to be meditating on Chenrezig Ziggis or whatever. That mindfulness is tied to the object, that's the best. the best meditation. 2, when cyclic existence is recognized as impermanent, it is the best recognition. You recognize it is impermanent. What are we worrying about? That's that. 3rd, that which helps gain control over body and speech is the best vow. Can you control your mouth and your mind, your body, the actions, all this? You know the state, when you're alone, watch your mind. When you're with others, watch your mouth. You know, and that's your body too, but you know. That's good advice to protect you from a lot of trouble. And lastly, that which helps flourish virtuous activities is the best retreat. Whatever you do to help you do more positive activities, that's the best retreat. It's not be 3 years in the cave, you know. So that's it. One or two more. So here, here's like a few marks. So there are 5 misplaced things. The pursuit of learning in order to become superior to everyone else is misplaced, foolish. Is that your motivation? So you could tell, well, no, misplaced. For a spiritual person, this is the way spiritual people think. The world is the other way. You go to school, you learn, yeah, I got a degree, a PhD, and this and that, you know, bravo, very nice. 2, the giving of teachings to others in order to receive material gifts and fame is misplaced. He's talking to also monks and nuns here. Engagement in meditative equipoise with no instruction on meditation is misplaced. This is critical. You're going to meditate, you have to study first. What are you going to meditate on and how? And especially if you have a good teacher or a good text, they will tell you, watch out for this, watch out for that. Very careful. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You go off the wrong road. It's like you're going to go here, but you didn't study the map, so you're over here all of a sudden. Wait a minute. It's getting cold here. We're going to the beach. Where am I? Things like that. So it's very important.
So, not to be like,
You can be. Don't worry.
I'm trying not to be like contrarian or anything.
That's
I
what,
agree with this guy's statement, but it also makes me think of the other Buddhist practices that would just say follow the breath. Like the
Follow the breath is a preparation, but there's also a lot of instruction with that. I once asked the breath. The breath is a vast subject. So there's a lot of breath. There's holding the breath. There's like, you know, the right nostril versus the left nostril in Tantra, it goes right channel, left channel, things like that. Those are also done with instruction beforehand. They should tell you why you're watching the breath. Okay, if you're confused, watch the breath. But there is the big debate was Hashan, you know, the Zen teacher that debated somebody. So the mind should be blank. You shouldn't have anything. And that was defeated. That's the Tibetan version. The Chinese version, he won. So it's for us to figure out. But they're right. Very good. You can't give somebody instruction unless their mind is somewhat balanced, somewhat, what's the word, grounded. The breath is a wonderful way to ground the mind. It's a wonderful way to take yourself out of anxiety and screaming away. Shut up. Watch the breath. Regulates blood pressure.
Yeah, so that would be like saying the introductory instruction is the grounding. Then the real meditative work is after study.
After study, especially even with the breath.
Yeah. First is just an anchor, you're doing it, hey.
Do the right nostril and send it here and there. Do the left nostril and it there. Sometimes the breath stops. You reach one of those jhana levels. The breath isn't there, it stopped. Then they have the calm breath of joy. All this you have to read about. Otherwise you'll freak out. So there is a point, just a minute. Some of them recommend if you have severe mental illness to take some sort of medical help, you know, a pill or whatever, for the time being. Always with the intention that I'm going to do this for that purpose. For instance, you're very stressed out and freaking, you're tired, you can't study well. I'm going to take 2 days off with the intention that I'm coming back stronger. That is very, very important. Always do that. Any rest you're going to take. I'm going to vacation on the beach so that I can come back and be more relaxed. So you put the motivation on, then you can do things like that. So, yeah, but as Chung said, breath is a vast subject. There's a lot on that if you fool around with the different teachings. But it's most important. Then, of course, with visualizations and stuff in the tantras, especially if you're one-to-one with a teacher, the instruction is everything. Because he'll tell one person, there's a red thing over here, meditate on that. No, meditate on the blue thing over here. He or she knows the student and knows what's most adaptable to their mindset. They're going to give specific instruction at the high levels. I never went to that level, so I've heard stories of that. So that's, you need the teacher somewhat.
And I was forgetting too that they, in those early instructions, they're still explaining what you're doing, why you're doing it.
Always why? What do you want to meditate?
It's not just.
Well, you could be sincere. I'm afraid of death. I'm tired. I'm confused. My mind can't even do anything. I want a girlfriend. Some people do. Some people just chant to get merit, to get what they want, but that's foolish. That's not real spiritual. And Namyo Renge-kyo and those that to get a new car. It worked for Tina Turner, but she had talent. Maybe we don't. So always observance of morality with an exception of receiving material gifts and honor is misplaced. In other words, you're showing off about how moral you are. So people think, he's a good practitioner, I'll give him money. I'm going to buy him a car, whatever. Whatever. So in other words, you're making a show of it. Morality is there, ethics are there, so as you don't hurt anyone else. And you also put good karma into your mind stream, so you get good results yourself. That's what, it's not there to show off to everyone how holy you are. And then finally, the giving of charity in order to bring everyone under your influence is misplaced. And this is something they actually, in some of the texts say, gather students by giving gifts. That actually says that. New students, attract them to the Dharma, because we don't actually proselytize. You got to be careful with that. Your motive can't be just to get students to enhance your reputation or your wallet. To get students to have them not suffer anymore, to show them the teachings. It's tricky and it's an internal thing. Only you know if you're BSing yourself or you're sincere. No one can tell. Maybe a high yogi, but it's a big deal. So these guys were on it in the old days. Let's see what we got. Time-wise, oh yeah, we got to switch gears. Maybe there's one more little thing. No, there ain't. Okay, one set of 7. There's one set of 7, the 7 useless things. You may have taken all the vows from going to refuge to those of secret mantra, but if you fail to avert your thoughts from worldly norms, it is useless. You took all the vows, you did this and that, but you still have the motivation of the world. I want this, I want that. Forgetting that what you want is impermanent. Hello? And what they're teaching you here is more or less permanent. It goes life to life. Secondly, you may regularly give teachings to others, but if your vanity is not pacified, it is useless. If you're proud of this, I'm special, no good. He's talking to people make their living as teachers. It says, you might show progress, but if you lose the entry-level practice of going for refuge, it is useless. This is a big point. No matter how much you're studying Tantra, they always do the fundamentals. Take refuge, confession, bodhicitta, make offerings. They do that. His Holiness Dalai Lama does that. And he does very high practice and stuff. It's necessary. For nothing else but protection from obstacles. Besides, when you go more and more, study more and more, but then go to the fundamental teachings, they release more meaning than you had when you first encountered them. It's very funny. Basic things, after a while you go back and read them. Oh, there's something else here. His Holiness told Chungla Rinpoche in, 85, 87, he was going to teach Shantideva's book in Indiana in 87. So he told him, okay, read Shantideva's book 100 times again. He had gone to school, he had taught it and everything. Mm-hmm. He was a 60-year-old Lama, he read it 100 times. The whole book every day for 100 days. You get more meaning. I don't know. I've yet to see that happen. But it's a big thing, you know. You might strive in virtuous activities day and night, but if they are not reinforced by the awakening mind, in other words, bodhicitta, it is useless. For us, that's important, with Mahayana practitioner. You may define the imputed nature, the dependent nature, and so on. We're going to get to that soon. But if you fail to recognize things as illusion-like, it is useless. You can talk like a scholar, but you can't recognize in real life what that really means. It's useless. Not really useless. It's not bad. Better than the average person. But come on, he's starting to wake people up, like a good coach, coaching the team. Come on, you could do better than that. You might know the 3 baskets of Scripture, but if you lack admiration and respect for your teachers, it is useless. Very big on guru devotion in this presentation, in this school of thinking. And finally, you may meditate on emptiness, but if this does not become an antidote against affliction, it is useless. You're meditating on emptiness, not to be a great philosopher, though, to get rid of your afflictions, your pride, your hatred, your attachments and stuff like that at various levels. That's the purpose of it. You should be cleaning your mind. It's not stuff you got to get, stuff you got to get rid of. If we have Buddha nature, it's there. It's covered. Start cleaning house. Pour enzyme, no. But anyway, that's that. So, both of the books we're working on, we've come to the emptiness section of Power of Compassion and His Holiness's Death book, the Advice on Dying and Living a Better Life. And I'm going to pay attention to the time because it's a complicated topic. So, understanding the Buddhist doctrine of emptiness, this is His Holiness's words from page 151 of this. So, if I'm going too fast or you want to interrupt, please, and there's supposed to be discussion groups. Feel free, because I'm relying on the book. I'm not a teacher, so I'm a student like the rest of us, all of us. Understanding the Buddhist doctrine of emptiness is crucial to living and dying with realism and without fear. That's the way things are, by the way. Emptiness does not mean non-existence, right? You might think that emptiness means nothingness, but it does not. What are phenomena empty of? What's not there that we think is there? Without understanding what is negated, what's not there, you cannot understand its absence or emptiness. So first of all, if you're in a crowded room and it says, George Smith here, you look around, but if you don't know who George Smith is, you can't say, no, he's not here, or yeah, he is. You don't know. So what is it we're getting rid of? That has to be the start. And what we're getting rid of course, doesn't exist. But we think it is. This is very funny. We're trying to find something that we're projecting out. It turns you back on yourself. What am I doing that is out of sync with the way things are, out of harmony with the way things are? So that's it. Where is I? That's what that technique is. You say, I'm meditating on emptiness. You're not. You're looking for inherent existence. You don't find it. Emptiness dawns. It comes. Where is I? There's nothing more inherently exists in this sense of who the hell I am. Where is it? Anyway, this thing that you're making a big deal about, that gets insulted, that gets overjoyed. Where is it? Your arm, your leg? So that's it. What is I? I love when he does that. Of course, I don't learn anything, but I just like the sound of it. Look at it this way. Buddha frequently said that because all phenomena are dependently arisen, they are relative, meaning their existence depends on causes and conditions and not on their own parts. Do we think that way? No. We see something, it's there, that's it. We don't see it as being created, abiding, dissolving, like everything, like anything. Physical things that look like they're there for a long time. People, we realize eventually, oh no, he died? Oh, yeah, well, that's his nature. He was born, he's going to die. Oh, but not me. Yeah, you too. So, Your body, for instance, does not exist independently. Rather, it depends on a great many causes, such as sperm and egg from the mother, food and water to keep you going. It also depends on its parts. So what do things depend on? This is a big thing. They're actual causes to start with. And then when we designate them, they depend on their parts. This car is made of this, that, and the other. Oh yeah, car. Then we suddenly throw together the name car. After the point where the mind suddenly says, yes, car. When everything draws to them. Examine whether your body appearing as it exists in its own right is the same or different from your arms, legs, torso, and head, the parts. If it does exist that way it appears, so concretely present, it should become clearer and clearer under the light of analyzing whether the body is any of its individual parts, or whether it is their sum, or whether there is something else altogether different. So if that was the way they are, the more you look, the sharper it gets. The more you look, you can't find it, the eye. Where is it? It seems to be running the whole show. So where is it? It's very fun. The closer you look, the more it is not found in any of these ways. This is the case for all phenomena, and also people too. The fact that you cannot find them under such analysis means that they do not exist under their own power. They are not self-established. They're there. But there's a level of being there that we overstate. It's there by itself, it's there. And what does that create? In my opinion, it creates claustrophobia. There's no workable situation if you see things as inherently existent. That assumes a static nature of things. They're never going to change. But second by second, that's a wrong view if you really look at it carefully. But we assume that. Oh no, I got to get things, all these crises in your life that maybe didn't happen as you thought, of course. Your projections weren't accurate. They were not as solid as you thought. It happens. So they don't inherently exist, he says, despite all appearances to the contrary. Yeah, they really look that way. He's acknowledging that. Yeah, I know you see things that way, His Holiness is saying. But when you logically look for it, where is it? So what's the situation? You work with that. Still, this does not mean that sentient beings and things do not exist at all. Rather, they just do not exist the way they appear to so concretely exist. There's a whole thing in Buddhism about solidity. And things appear solidly to us, but they're not that solid. I always tell the story of, remember him, Yonten Gyatso, that Lama gave us teachings a long time ago. He gave in Ling's warehouse, he gave a Yamantaka initiation. So he's from Gomang Monastery. So I asked, Gomang means many doors. So why do they call it many doors? There are a lot of doors. Because a lot of practitioners there can go through the walls. They don't need doors. They weren't solid. I don't know what he meant by that. This is, of course, under a translation. But it's funny that he thought that way. So, Gomang. When you analyze and meditate well, you will understand the harmony between the actual appearance of persons and things and their emptiness of inherent existence. Now, meditate. So that we have a little note on that. Without such understanding, emptiness and appearance seem to prohibit one another. Emptiness, well, then it really isn't there. You can go through it. It looks like this whole reality that we live in is totally useful. Not really. Now, meditate is what they're assume when they say meditate. When you're talking about emptiness, yes, we can meditate on it now, read his text, see if we understand it, read some other text, different angle, talk about it, go on and on. But the real meditation has to take place with the tool of a one-pointed mind. You have calm abiding, physical and mental pliancy. The mind is pliant, it's bliss, the body is blissful. You could sit for hours feeling good and not wavering from the subject. And if you're visualizing like a mandala. Some of these, you could do the Kala Chakra mandala for a few hours like that. 732 deities, the color of their eyes exactly as they are, and the mind is happy to look at that. Like a TV. That's a one-pointed mind. That's the kind of mind, and there's different degrees of that. But that's the kind of mind you have to really meditate on emptiness with. So that's a one-pointed mind. There's where your thing of, once you got the instructions on one-pointed mind, you're going to not analyze. You're going to stay one-pointed through the 9 steps until the blissful feeling comes down from the head. It gets stronger, the mind gets very blissful, and then just drops a notch to total relaxation, happy, etc. and so forth. Then the mind is your tool. Wherever you put it, it works. That's it. That doesn't mean you're out of samsara. You have miraculous power through that. You're still going to born and die without, but you have now a one-pointed mind to work as a tool. And that's very important. With that, you have that calm abiding, body and mind bliss. You start to analyze and read these texts. Instead of going off track, well, I started thinking discursively, so now I lost the one-pointed. No, it enhances the one-pointed mind. It makes it stronger. There's a turn that happens according to the text. Don't look at me for this. I can't stay on something for 2 or 3 minutes. So, but that's what the idea is. So then they say meditate on emptiness, you'll understand. Yeah, meditate on emptiness with a calm, abiding mind. Now, how do you get that? That's why there's 3 baskets. Ethics, concentration, wisdom. An ethical mind makes it easier for you to calm your mind to do one-pointed meditation. An ethical mind comes from practice in real life, good motivation and everything, forming good habits. So you're not sitting there and thinking, well, I gotta have a pizza. Well, I can't stand there. All right, like, all this crap that goes on. I gotta get a better job. I can't stand some of the blah, 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 blah. That crap has to go. There's no space in the mind. There's a lot of dancing around. No good. Slowly, with good ethics in life, the mind starts to get clear. Then you could sit down and concentrate. You concentrate to the level of calm, abiding mind. You have one-pointedness. You have samadhi, Yin, or whatever they call it in Tibetan. Something in Chinese. There must be a word in Chinese. Then you go to wisdom, the 6th paramita. Then you're in business. That's the 6th patriarch. They did sit like this all the time, watch the breath, or koan or something. And then, all of a sudden, insight is dawning. What they're realizing is what they already are. The Buddha nature is coming. And no pointing out reality. This is this, that's that. And the 6th patriarch, who couldn't read or write, was the best monk of all. So no, there's no polishing to do, nothing to polish, nothing to clean. So this is very funny. There's a lot of reading and there's a lot of not reading. I don't know. Then you have tantric techniques which are different. They're using all your impulses, your faults. Oh yeah, you're very attached to them. Well, meditate on this. Oh yeah, you can't stand this one. We have hateful deities that channel that to the right place. That's very sophisticated. I'm not trained in it. Mentioning it because maybe some of you will catch a teacher that could teach you that. But in the sutra presentation, which you have in Chinese Buddhism, all of them, that's the technique. It's the technique with the 6 perfections. That generosity, ethics, patience. The higher ones show a more accomplished being. You start with easy things, giving things. And then you practice morality. And then you practice patience. And then you add joyful perseverance. So I'm going to have to sit and say, but I'm happy to do it. And then I'll get even happier when I hit samadhi. And so that's the layout. So always when they say meditate on emptiness, they mean finally with a one-pointed mind. But in the meantime, that doesn't stop you from reading books and everything, because that itself is a good regimen, a good exercise. And it doesn't hurt. And it also puts seeds in the mind that it can come up in different lives. So nothing wasteful. So they just don't exist the way they want, sentient beings. Then you might think emptiness and appearance prohibited one. All phenomena This is page 152, mid-page. Causes and effects, agents and actions, good and bad, merely exist conventionally. Because nothing exists, so finally, conventionally. They are dependent arisings. That's what they mean. That doesn't mean you don't have to be ethical. It means don't mistake them don't mistake their mode of being. So, because phenomena depend on factors for their existence, they are not independent. This absence of independence or emptiness of inherent existence is their ultimate truth. Comprehending this is wisdom. The fact that these things don't generate themselves, are dependent on causes and conditions, they can be worked on then. You're the same way, you can be worked on and so on. So it's good news. That's the ultimate truth. You understand that, you have wisdom, the highest wisdom. It's simple. Now he says, he switches gears a little. The fundamental cause of suffering is ignorance. Yes, we're here to get rid of suffering. In case you thought this is just a joke to learn. No, we're here to get rid of suffering. This is serious business. No one likes suffering. The mistaken conception that living beings and objects inherently exist, that's ignorance, and that causes suffering. That mistake causes all our suffering. All faulty states of mind have this mistake at their root. Over attached, over hatred, over averse, and whatever. A principal aim of the spiritual path is to counteract and remove ignorance through wisdom. You just can't force it down. Get rid of it. A wise consciousness grounded in reality understands that living beings and other phenomena do not inherently exist. That is the wisdom of emptiness. They see it as they see, as Rishon say, clearly as you see your hand in front of you. That's a realization, direct, without concept. So you work towards that. Then he's now mentioning, which we have in the Tibet Center Library, I think, but I have a copy. I said things in class about it years ago. The Panchen Lama's book, Argument with Ignorance. It's called the argument between self-existence and non-inherent, whatever. He makes them into people and they start fighting with each other. Ignorance said this, emptiness says that. And he wrote it himself, like to teach himself and everything. And actually I thought someday somebody should make a play of it. Two people standing up and say, oh yeah, whoa, shut up. Blah, 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 blah. It would be interesting. Maybe people get, maybe have wisdom, have wisdom and wisdom. Yeah, women and wisdom. In Tantra, wisdom is female. Male is compassion. Yeah, the bell is emptiness. The root, the method, compassion is the dorje. That's it. So and then they do this. They combine. They're non-dual. They help each other. So so they're very important. So we would have maybe females do that. People would pay attention more. Advertisers know that a female voice sells more products than a male voice for some reason in all cultures. So I'm sure they're selling things in China, Korea, and here, certain things. New tires, the guy says, yeah, these tires are the best. All right. But it's funny. These Tibetan Buddhism is ahead of all. It's not Tibetan. It's Indian or Buddhist. And so that book is very interesting, but it's very complicated. And we're just trying to find someone who could teach that book. It would be very interesting. Nicky has a copy. He keeps it on his desk. So, it's an argument with ignorance, it's called. So this is a little complicated. So now we'll have to end this here, page 153. But we'll come back to it. I never got to this. This is also another presentation of emptiness. So it's good to hear from different viewpoints. Now, who has passed away? Donald Peck?
No, just Fred.
Oh, just Fred Smith. Oh, okay. So the other two
We got it already.
we got already. Well, you can get them again. Once, just more than one for each. I don't know. Anyway, anyone you know who's passed away even recently. We had our friend Wyatt. Remember Wyatt? She passed away about 2 weeks ago now. Nikki's father. Paul, remember Paul? Paul, he passed away a couple of months ago. We know exactly. Michael Wick called his brother. We don't know how or whatever, but so he was We can't forget him. He was one of our students for many years. Good-natured. We could kid him and everything. Recollection of the Noble Three Jewels. I prostrate to the Omniscient One. Thus the Buddha, Bhagava, Tathagata, Arahat, Samyak Buddha, the learned and virtuous one, the Sugata, the knower of the world, the charioteer and tamer of beings, the unsurpassable one, the teacher of devas and humans is the Buddha Bhagavat. The Tathagata is in accord with all merit. He does not waste the roots of virtue. He is completely ornamented with all patience. He is the basis of treasures of merit. He is adorned with the minor marks. He blossoms with the flowers of the major marks. His activity is timely and appropriate. Seeing him is without disharmony. He brings true joy to those who long with faith. His knowledge cannot be overpowered. His strengths cannot be challenged. He is the teacher of all sentient beings. He is the father of bodhisattvas. He is the king of noble ones. He is the guide of those who journey to the city of nirvana. He possesses immeasurable wisdom. He possesses inconceivable confidence. His speech is completely pure. His melody is pleasing. One never has enough of seeing him. His form is incomparable. He is not stained by the realm of desire. He is not stained by the realm of form. He is not affected by the formless realm. He is completely liberated from suffering. He is completely and utterly liberated from the skandhas. He is not possessed with dhatus. His ayatanas are controlled. He has completely cut the knots. He is completely liberated from extreme torment. He is liberated from craving. He has crossed over the river. He is perfected in all the wisdoms. He abides in the wisdom of the Buddha Bhagavats who arise in the past, present, and future. He does not abide in nirvana. He abides in the ultimate perfection. He dwells on the bhumi where he sees all sentient beings. All these are the perfect virtues of the greatness of the Buddha Bhagavat. The Holy Dharma is good at the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end. Its meaning is excellent. Its words are excellent. It is uncorrupted. It is completely perfect and completely pure. It completely purifies. The Bhagavad teaches the Dharma well. It brings complete vision. It is free from sickness. It is always timely. It directs one further. Seeing it fulfills one's purpose. It brings discriminating insight for the wise. The Dharma which is taught by the Bhagavad is revealed properly in the Vinaya. It is renunciation. It causes one to arrive at perfect enlightenment. It is without contradiction. It is pithy. It is trustworthy and puts an end to the journey. As for the son of the great Dharma, they enter completely. They enter insightfully. They enter straightforwardly. They enter harmoniously. They are worthy of veneration with joint palms. They are worthy of receiving prostration. They are a field of glorious merit. They are completely capable of receiving all gifts. They are an object of generosity. They are a great object of complete generosity. The protector who possesses great kindness, the omniscient teacher, the basis of oceans of merit and virtue, I prostrate to the Tathagata. Pure the cause of freedom from passion, virtuous liberating from the lower realms. This alone is the supreme ultimate truth. I prostrate to the Dharma which is peace. Having been liberated, they show the path to liberation. They are fully dedicated to the disciplines. They are a holy field of merit and possess virtue. I prostrate to the Sangha. I prostrate to the Buddha, the leader. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha of the community. I prostrate respectfully and always to these three. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. The Dharma's virtues are inconceivable. The Sangha's virtues are inconceivable. Having faith in these inconceivables, therefore the fruitions are inconceivable. May they be born in a completely pure realm. Now we're going to hear from our friend who gave us advice before. 8 verses on training the mind. So his advice was, don't belittle anyone, you don't know who they are. With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings, to surpass even a wish-granting jewel, I will learn to hold them supremely dear. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as the lowest amongst all, and respectfully hold others to be supreme from the very depths of my heart. In all actions, I will learn to search into my mind, and as soon as a disturbing emotion arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly face and avert it. I will learn to cherish ill-natured beings and those oppressed by strong misdeeds and sufferings, as if I had found a precious treasure difficult to find. When others out of jealousy treat me badly, with abuse, slander, and so on, I will learn to take all loss and offer the victory to them. When the one whom I have benefited with great hope unreasonably hurts me very badly, I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering of my neighbors. I will learn to keep all these practices undefiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, and by understanding all phenomena as like illusions, be released from the bondage of attachment. And the final prayer is a prayer for swift return of Chungla Rato Rinpoche, written by His Holiness Dalai Lama. Exalted wisdom of all victors gathered in a drop, sole refuge manifest in the form of the one wearing saffron robes, Guru Lazang Tuguang Doche Chang. Please bear witness here today that our prayers may be fulfilled. We beseech the great torch of doctrine, accomplishing from long ago the vast waves of aspirational prayers, Lord of speech of the Victor Lozan's teachings, spreading them to the ends of the earth by means of explanation and practice. While holding the commitment, I will invite all beings to be my guests in unsurpassed great awakening. Yet you have withdrawn the activities of the form body, serves the welfare of others. Is that worthy of the supreme among beings, the Bodhisattvas? Though impossible for you to cyclic existence's end, to abandon your commitment to liberate all beings, we beseech the new son of Nirmanakaya to swiftly return from the realm of Dharmakaya, brought forth by Bodhicitta drawn by 7 steeds. Having reached the far limits of scholarship, religious life, and goodness, please come swiftly as an unrivaled supreme emanation, full holder of the sage's teachings, and wish-fulfilling jewel, return as the glory of Losang Tempe. Magnificent truth of the 3 precious jewels, Mahakala, Karmayama, and Sri Mata Devi, and the ocean of Dharma protectors, may you spontaneously fulfill our wish, the swift blossoming of the reincarnation expression on thy face. So that concludes tonight's the next Dharma prayer gathering will be 7 o'clock at the parsonage in South Orange. It's on our website. There's no Tara Sadhana this Saturday. It's an alternate Saturday. Also, we announced that we have a brand new Medicine Buddha Tanka at the Tibet Center. We'll take a nice picture of it. I'll have somebody like Darren, because my hands shake. We'll put it on the website, but it's wonderful with real lapis lazuli and gold and everything, all the colors. So Leung has seen it, so she could tell you all about it. But she might lie. Tell her to tell the truth. No, it's pretty good. It's very helpful and restful. So thank you for your patient listening. Big love to all of you. Happy New Year. Gung Hei Fat Choi. All our Chinese brothers. Next week, stay home. Be with your parents, your family. That's practice. You could always watch online. It's no big deal. But Happy New Year and many, many more forever.